Hi friends, welcome back to She's At It Again. Today I'm going to be making some gluten-free cookies. These are called coconut macaroons. Now, not to be confused with macarons, which are made with almond flour and they have nuts in them. This does not. This has coconut, but not nuts in it. So this is not for us at our house to consume. This is, they're having a meeting of some sort tomorrow. We were all asked to pitch in and take some snacky things there. So I'm going to take a platter of these. I'm going to individually wrap these because I'm just one of those people, if there's a tray of something sitting out, my assumption is somebody's come along, licked their hands, and just rubbed it all over the cookies. I know I'm weird like that, but if it's individually wrapped, I know that whoever made it at least made an effort to keep it clean and keep other people's hands off of it, if they're not clean. So let's get busy. I have earlier put 2 egg whites in this bowl. I used a clear bowl so you could kind of see what's going on in there. And this is just 2 eggs. I would say they're considered large eggs. They're from my friend's chickens and they're all large eggs. So these have come to room temperature. I had them covered just because I don't want dust or anything like that getting in them. So I have my mixer here. We're going to use a hand mixer instead of a stand mixer, but you are welcome to use a stand mixer if you feel more comfortable doing that. I just feel like I have a little more control over my ingredients because it's such a small amount in volume. And although it makes quite a few cookies, it just starts out with such a tiny amount. So to the egg whites, I'm going to add a half teaspoon of vanilla. I'm getting down to the last little bit of my first batch of homemade vanilla. That's certainly not the last of it. It's just the first batch I ever made. So half a teaspoon of really good quality vanilla, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and I use pink Himalayan salt. And 1/4 of a teaspoon of cream of tartar. And that's what it looks like. I have my oven preheating to 325 degrees. Cream of tartar is one of those things you do not ever want to use over the amount that it calls for. So a good level 1/4 of a teaspoon is what I want. There's a science behind the cream of tartar. I can't explain it because I'm just not that smart. I've read up on it before and I kind of understood what it did, but I'm not smart enough to relay that information to you. But it will help this hold its shape better, as well as incorporating the sugar that we're going to use in it and make it a smoother consistency in this. It won't be grainy. So let's see. We have our egg whites, our vanilla, our salt, our cream of tartar, and we're going to beat this until soft peaks form. Okay, this is what we mean by soft peaks forming. It looks like that. It's not going to be dripping off the beaters. If you raise it up like that, you can see inside what it's doing. So now, okay, there's our oven. It's at 325. So I'm going to just slowly, gradually add this sugar in here. What you don't want to do if you have a hand mixer, this is why I was so bad at baking when I was a kid. I would start pouring the sugar in, and there's a little fan blade right here that expels air out of it, and my sugar would be in a pile over here on the counter when I was trying to get it in here. So just be careful and make sure all your sugar goes into your ingredients. So we are going to be adding a 1/2 cup of sugar. As you know, I always use raw unbleached sugar. This is pure cane sugar. It's not from sugar beets. So we're going to slowly add this in here. I'm just going to add a little bit at a time. I may turn the mixer off and add more, but don't want to sling it out on the counter. But we're going to beat this until stiff peaks form and we have all of our sugar in there. We have stiff peaks, excuse me, formed in our egg whites, and this is what it looks like. And I'll show you what it looks like if I touch it with the back of a spoon. Now, the key to successfully beating your egg whites and making sure they get a lot of air in them incorporated and get a lot of loft to it is you don't want to have any fat whatsoever, no butter, no oil, no grease of any kind in your bowl or on your beaters, and you don't want to get any egg yolk in your egg whites when you're breaking those. So be careful it does not have any of those in it, or it will not have the volume that you want in it. This is what it looks like when stiff peaks form. Even that little tiny amount on a spoon will not drop off because it's just that thick. Okay, now we are going to fold in our coconut. I have 1 1/3 cup of shredded unsweetened coconut. This does not have sugar in it. We've added all the sugar that we want in this, which was a 1/2 cup. So we are just going to fold in the coconut, just pour it right on top. And I got this at my big store. They actually sell their brand of organic coconut. And you can get the finely shredded kind if you like, or you can get the bigger chunks. I just prefer the regular shredded unsweetened coconut. Okay, when I say fold in, I'm doing this for people like my friend Jason who goes, "What do you mean folding in? What does that even mean?" So folding in is taking your spatula and kind of scraping the bowl and then just folding it over. So you don't want to just sit and stir it and mix it. You're gently going to fold it in. You want to leave as much of that air incorporated in there as you can. And you only want to fold it in until you can see that there's no dry spots of coconut. And as much as I used to say I am not a fan of coconut, when I made these for the first time, it was over. It's kind of like the coconut pie that I made one time for my friend Judy. She said, "I would love a coconut pie for my birthday." And I wound up tasting it to make sure the ingredients on the inside, the filling, tasted right. And I almost ate the whole pie worth of filling. It was so frustrating that I liked it at that point. But these cookies are absolutely delicious. And again, I'm not really a huge fan of coconut, but they just have an absolutely lovely flavor. I don't really eat them now because of the sugar in it, and sugar just makes me not feel good. I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, sugar's going to make you gain weight, or it's going to do this, or it's going to do that." It just doesn't make me feel good. If it makes you feel good, eat twice as many of them. Good for you. Okay, I have my cookie dough scoop that has a dasher on the inside, and we're just going to plop these onto some parchment. We don't want any kind of greasy surface. You're going to plop them on a dry surface. And they're not necessarily going to flatten out and spread when you bake them that much, so you don't have to worry about getting them really too close together. You don't want them touching, of course, but you don't have to leave just an immense amount of room in between them to expand. Okay, let's put these in the oven. and we're going to set our timer for 20 minutes. And the nice thing about these cookies is at 20 minutes, you turn the oven off and you leave them in there until your oven is completely cool. Now these are going to, as soon as the 20 minutes is up, these will be super flexible. They'll still stick to the parchment probably, but after the oven cools off, you can take and just peel them off the parchment, but I'll show that to you when they come out and the oven cools off. So we'll be back in just a bit. Okay, our cookies are done. They are cooled off completely. This pan is not warm at all. And I want to show you what these look like when they come off. They just lift off. I mean, it's effortless. I can push them with my finger. And these are just absolutely as light as just a piece of cotton candy. They're just so yummy. They're so yummy. And I did try one a while ago. I got them out of the oven and I had one that was misshapen. I thought, you know what? That one's just crying for someone to try it. Oh, it was as good as what I remembered. I haven't made these in a while, but they're so good. Okay, so we're going to package these up. We'll put them flat side to flat side and just put a couple of them in each package. I have a sack over there. We're going to have them kind of displayed. You want to leave a little bit of air in there just as a cushion, but who wouldn't want that little bag of a coconut macaroon? Now, I have it labeled that it's gluten-free in case someone comes by and thinks, oh, I can't eat cookies because the gluten in it, you know, it's just so prevalent nowadays. But I labeled these gluten-free so they can be assured that these will not affect them in an adverse way. So I'll show you a picture of these when I get them packaged up and in the sack. But I do hope you give these a try. So few ingredients. I mean, a couple of eggs, some coconut, sugar, vanilla, salt, and cream of tartar. There's just not a lot to it. But the flavor, I just wish I could somehow just hand you one through the screen and let you try it. The inside is, I won't say it's moist, but it's almost cushiony. I don't know why that comes to mind, but the outside is just like biting into a piece of crisp air. It is just absolutely delightful. My Aunt Freedy would not be able to resist these. She is the biggest coconut lover I've ever known in my life. And as much as I love her, I would love to just give her the whole pan and go, you know what? These are for you. She would absolutely love these. But I do hope you give these a try. Thanks for joining us today. And we look forward to sharing something again with you real soon. See ya.